morning, students. Today we are going to learn about active and passive voice, part 2. The topic for today is interrogative sentence. Before understanding part 2, I request the students to understand or refer part 1, so it would be easy for you to understand active and passive voice. What did we learn in part 1? While changing from active to passive, the most important thing, that is, the verb will always remain in the third form. I'm repeating it again. While changing from active to passive, the verb will remain in the third form. If in any active voice the verb is in first form, then we are going to use the helping verb, that is, am, or are. If in any active voice, if the verb is in second form, then we are going to use the helping verb was or were while changing from active to passive. If in any active voice, if the verb is in third form, we are going to use the helping verb, that is been, B-E-E-N, while changing from active to passive. And if the verb is in fourth form, that is the ing form, then we are going to use being, B-E-I-N-G, that is the helping verb, while changing the sentence from active to passive. This is all about the revision of part 1. Here, talking about the interrogative sentence. Interrogative sentence has been divided into two parts, that is the yes-no type and the WH type. What is the yes-no type? Those kind of questions where you need to answer either in yes or no. The question may start either with is, am, or are, do, does, did, have, has, can, could, may, might. We need to answer it either in yes or no. And the second type is the WH type. The question which starts with when, where, who, what, whom, and how. This is the WH type. We'll look into the example on the next slides, so the concept of WH and yes-no type would be clear. Look at the structure of the sentence in yes-no type. Do, does, did, have, has, had, can, could, may, plus subject, plus verb, plus object. Look at the WH type. When, who, where, what, plus subject, plus verb, plus object. Interrogative sentence has been divided into two parts, that is the yes-no type and the WH type. The active form of the yes-no type and the WH type is do, does, did, have, has, had, or can, could, may, plus subject, plus verb, plus object. That is the structure of the sentence. And in WH type, when, who, where, and what, plus subject, plus verb, plus object. We need to take care in the yes-no type, especially in the case of do, does, and is. Do and does, that represents the first form of the verb. I repeat it again. Do and does, that represents the first form of the verb, and did represents the second form of the verb. So if do and does represents the first form of the verb, then we are going to use the helping verbs while changing from active to passive is, am, and are. I'm repeating it again. We are going to use is, am, and are. These things we have already discussed in part 1. 4 forms of the verbs. If talking about did represents second type or second form of the verb. If it is the second form, then we are going to use was or were. I repeat, was or were, while changing from active to passive. And talking about has, have, had, can, could, may, there would be no changes. It would remain as it is. We'll look into the example on the next slides, so the concept of this active and passive will be clear. Plus the remaining part of the sentence, that is the subject plus the verb plus the object. While changing from active to passive, I have clearly shown in the picture that the verb will remain in the third form. Subject becomes object, object becomes subject, and the verb will remain in the third form. But talking about the interrogative type, especially do, does, and is. Do and does, we are going to use is, am, and are. and did, we are going to use was and were. Remaining has, have, had, can, could, may will have no changes. Second type, that is the WH type, that is when, who, where, what plus subject plus verb plus object. Again, one important note: if the question starts with who in active voice, it would be changed to by whom, and if the question starts with whom, it would be changed to by who. I'm repeating it again. If in the active voice, if the question starts with who, it would be changed to passive voice in the answer by whom. And if the question starts with whom, it would be changed by who while changing from active to passive. If it is who, it would be changed to whom, and if it is whom, it would be changed to who. So the structure would be, that is, by whom or by who, plus one important note: I have made a circle, plus it would be the helping verb. Generally what we do, who or by whom plus the subject plus the verb plus the object. But in WH type we need to take care in the case, especially in the who and whom, while changing from active to passive. So if we change a sentence from active to passive, then we generally put the subject plus verb plus object. Correct. But in by who and whom case, we need to put the helping verb first. Then it would be the object plus the verb, that is in the third form, and then the subject. We'll look the example so it would be easy for you to understand. Look at the example. Do you understand what I mean? Here, the question starts with do. What is the structure of the sentence? You understand what I mean? You is the subject. Understand is the verb. And what I mean is the object. I'm repeating the question again. Do you understand what I mean? Do. The question has been start with do. Therefore, we are going to use is, am or are. Talking about the subject, you. Talking about understand, that is the verb. And what I mean, that is the object. So the answer would be either it would be is, am or are plus what I mean. Object becomes a subject, so object is at last, so it would be coming previously. Understand, the verb, the third form, that is understood. You, by you. So again at the end it is a question mark. By you, by, that we have discussed in part 1, we need to put by. So the answer would be either is, am or are plus what I mean understood by you. So here the answer is what I mean understood by you, because the subject is singular. I, you, I. So I'm repeating the answer is what I mean understood by you. The verb will go into the third form, understand, understood. I'm repeating it again, the verb will always remain in the third form while changing from active to passive. So understand, understood. Object becomes subject. What I mean is at last, so that is coming previously. And you, by you, we need to put by, that we have discussed in part 1. So the final answer, I'm repeating it again, is what I mean understood by you. Example number 2. Has someone made all the necessary arrangements? Here the question has been start with has. Someone is the subject, made is the verb, all the necessary arrangement is the object. Here made is the verb. So how will you identify the verb, in which form it is? First form, second form, third form, or fourth form? Made. Made is in third form. How we have identified? Because in the question there is one helping verb. Which is the helping verb? That is has. So we can say that from the question that the verb that has been given, that is made, is in the third form. So while converting from active to passive, has would be converted to have. And talking about arrangements, that is the object. Arrangements. So arrangement is a plural case, right? So the answer would be have all the necessary arrangements been made by someone. Been, verb is in third form. If the verb is in third form, we are going to use been. Remember that we have discussed in part 1. By someone, being made by someone. Has would be converted to have. I'm repeating it again. The verb is in third form in the question, that is in the active voice. How we have identified? Because of the helping verb that has been given in the question. What is the helping verb? That is has. So has would be converted to have. All the necessary arrangements being made. Why being made? Because the verb is in third form. Then we are going to use been. If it would be in the fourth form, then we are going to use ing. Here it is in third form, so we are using been. So the final answer is have all the necessary arrangements being made by someone. Next example. Did the noise frighten you? Here the question starts with did. Which form it is? Second form. I'm repeating it again. Did. That is in the second form. The noise frighten you. The noise is the subject, frighten is the verb, and you is the object. So if it is in second form, what we are going to use? We are going to use was or were. So the answer would be either was or were. You frightened. Frightened, frightened. Frightened is in the third form. Frightened, frightened by the noise. So what would be the answer? Were you frightened by the noise? Subject becomes object, object becomes subject, and the verb goes into the third form. Frightened, frightened. Indeed is the second form, so we are going to use was or were. So was is not the correct answer, so it is were. Were you frightened by the noise? Next example. Will she tell us the truth? Will. Will is a model. So will remain as it is. She is the subject. Tell is the verb. The truth is the object. Subject becomes object, object becomes subject, and the verb will get into the third form while converting from active to passive. So the answer would be will the truth. Tell will be converted to truth. That is the third form. Sorry. Will the truth be told? Tell, told. Tell would be converted to told. Will the truth be told by her? She becomes her. Special case that we have discussed in part 1. Again I am telling, tell would be converted to told. Will remain as it is because it is a model, so there would be no changes. So the answer would be will the truth be told by her. Next example, that is who gave you the permission to enter? The question starts with who, so automatically it would change by whom. So the answer would be by whom were you given the permission to enter? Please take a note. Who changes to by whom? Gave is the verb. Gave, that is in the second form. How we have decided that it is in the second form? Because there is no helping verb used in the question. So the verb is in second form. So while converting from active to passive, the verb would remain in the third form. I'm repeating it again. The verb will remain in the third form. Gave, given. So given is the third form of the verb. So gave is in the second form. So we are going to use was or were. Please take a note. I have told we are going to use a helping verb. Then it would be the object plus the verb plus the subject. that we have discussed in slide number 3 and 4, if I'm not wrong. So I'm repeating the answer again. By whom? Who changes to by whom? Where? It would be was or were, any one of them. So here it is where. Why where? Because gave is the verb. Which form? Second form. So we are going to use the helping verb either was or were. But as per the answer, it is where, not was. So the answer is by whom were you given. Gave, given. Third form, permission to enter. Look at the second option that I have put. By whom you were given permission to enter. This looks correct when we read. But please take a note. If in the interrogative sentence talking about active and passive voice, it is always the helping verb first. Then the subject will become object, the verb will remain in the third form, and the object will become the subject. So here the helping verb, that is where, we need to put first. Then it would be you. Look at the second option again. It looks very correct when we say it. But that is not the correct answer grammatically. The correct answer is by whom were you given permission to enter. I hope this concept is clear. Look at the last example. Why did she break the garden wall? Why? It starts with why, so there would be no changes. Changes were only to be done if the question would start in WH either by who or by whom. Here the question starts with why, so it would remain why. Did she break the garden wall? Break is the verb. Break is the verb. I'm repeating it again. Break is the verb. So break would be turned to broken. That is the third form. So why plus was or were. Break. Which form? Second form. So it would be was or were. So why plus either was or were the garden wall broken by she, no, by her. She changes to her. Remember the changes that we did in part 1? She changes to her. So the final answer would be why was the garden wall broken by her? I'm requesting students, please refer to part 1 to understand part 2.